The founding idea of India at the time of independence was as a secular, socialist, multicultural entity wrapped in the political idea of a democracy, the economic idea of state control, and a foreign policy of non-alignment. Some will argue that the new construct of India is now emerging based on the tenets of Hindutva, individual capitalism, a uniform civil code, stronger nationalism, and a more muscular foreign policy. Either way, we are set for a crackling debate today between some of India's finest minds.
For everything which is true about India, the opposite is equally true. And when we talk about the idea of India, which my friend Manish Tiwari celebrated with great aplomb, I just want to ask him one question. This idea of India, which you are so fixated upon, which you think has been subverted since 2014, why is it in the singular? Why? One idea of India? A billion people? A million mutinies? One idea of India. And I think that's really what it is. This shows a mental regimentation of a person who believes that what is an Indian?
The legal and constitutional idea of India lies in the Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution is the idea of India. And there are 4 concepts and a couple of doctrines: sovereignty, democracy, secularism, socialism, separation of powers, federalism, and fundamental rights. And these, when they are taken together, really represent the idea of India, we the people, the sovereign. It represents as to who we really are.
What is it that we need to recreate today? We need to ensure that by the time we celebrate Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary on 2nd October 2019, India will be open defecation free. We need to build toilets. We need to have 100% scientific solid waste management. We need to ensure that by the time we celebrate 2022, the 75th anniversary of our existence as an independent country, every Indian, whoever he or she may be, will have a house which he or she can own, and the title will be in the name of the lady of the house, giving gender empowerment a fillip.
I do not confine myself to one family, one politic, one leader. I confine myself to a nation and a civilization. Perhaps there are corrections to be made. Perhaps the appeasement of minorities merely as vote bank politics needs to change. Perhaps our mimicry of the West needs to change. Perhaps our going back to our languages and our civilizational ethos needs to be strengthened. But all of these are corrections, they are not recreations. We must understand that difference.
India is not where it should be. That Indians do not look at themselves the way they should. There is a knowledge in this country, that what people call, some people call it Hinduism. There is a spirituality behind this, which is universal in nature. The ancient Hindu, the ancient Indian people said, the world is one family. And they do believe, they believed, and they still believe today, that God has, manifest himself or herself at different times, using different scriptures with different names. This is a unique knowledge which the world needs today.
We are not talking about recreating India. We are asking the question, does the idea of India need to be recreated? And why are we asking that question today? Only because there is a major alternative idea of India that was placed before the nation in 1923 and was rejected by this country repeatedly until the political heirs of V.D. Savarkar came to power in 2014 and started attempting to implement the ideas that were there, the rival idea of India that was there in the inheritance of Savarkar.
The idea of India must be recreated to reflect the enormous changes that have taken place here at home and in the world, which has undertaken its triple transition simultaneously: the social, political, and economic. Our forefathers had the courage to do so, and they started by putting it in the Constitution, and look what we've achieved.
We keep coming back, and that cultural heady mix that makes the cocktail of India exists, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need to borrow ideas from the West. We need to strengthen and feel proud of what we are in India.